That's Paul. I'm assuming you're ready.
Yeah.
Paul, Kubosh. I'm an attorney. In the election of 2008, no, scratch that. On November the 8th, 2011, Clyde Bryan and Eric Dick received sign violation tickets from the city of Houston. Also, Councilmember C.O. Bradford obtained the same type of violations from the city of Houston. 2 years later, the city of Houston is attempting to prosecute Clyde Bryan and Eric Dick for those sign violations. Councilmember Bradford's cases were dismissed without Councilmember Bradford ever having to make a court appearance. We believe it's our position that Clyde Bryan and Eric Dick are in the same position as citizens as Councilmember Bradford's was when he received the citations. We believe that Councilmember Bradford's tickets were rightly dismissed, and we also believe that the tickets for Eric Dick and Clyde Bryan should also be dismissed.
I'm Clyde Bryan, CLYDEBRYN, and I was a candidate for City Council, District G. It is my contention that the sign violations, the citations I received should be dismissed. The city failed to give me 24 hours notice as per David Feldman's instructions. And therefore, Bradford's tickets were dismissed. As a matter of fact, Chief Bradford didn't even go to court. I received no notice. All of my citations were on election day. The rest of my citations are actually in polling places in a sea of campaign signs, and why the city continues to prosecute, we don't know. Taken collectively, we're talking about over 150 citations. To date, after almost 2 years, the city has only collected $100. These are all-day jury trials. You're tying up a courtroom, you're tying up a judge, you're tying up a bailiff, you're tying up a clerk, you're tying up an attorney, you're tying up 6 citizens on the jury for an all-day jury trial, and all you can produce in 2 years is $100. This is a misappropriation of funds. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Eric Dick. For the last 10 years, the city's been spending more money than it's been taking in. And as a result, we have an $81 million deficit that's going to hit next year. Mayor Parker, who's been involved in city politics for quite a while, she's been more concerned with criminalizing sharing food with the homeless, taking away our religious freedoms, and targeting her political rivals and using city money to do so. For example, in 2011, for the first time in city history, Parker decided it'd be a good idea to have strict violations on campaign signs. She required that candidates get a permit to put out campaign signs. And I don't know if y'all know anything about this, but the city doesn't even issue permits for campaign signs. She selectively chose the people that were going to get violations. You heard about C.O. Bradford. He received many violations, but he got a free pass. Why? Because he was a Democrat. The Republicans got stuck with it. Right? And these are signs that are mostly at polling locations, at the normal place. She even gave me a ticket for having signs on a car. It's ridiculous. She's violating our free speech. She's deciding what speech is acceptable and what speech isn't. She's using city money to attack people that oppose her views. Texas Penal Code 390282 talks about that. Also, she took an oath of office whenever she was elected mayor. And that was to, faithfully execute and faithfully uphold the Texas Constitution. She has not done so by targeting her political rivals and using city resources to harm them. Yesterday was the 4th of July. It was whenever our country, we fought hard and we declared our independence from the tyranny of Great Britain. This is an election year. Let's declare our independence from Anise Parker and her tyranny.
Here, here.
Here, here.
Thank you.
Anyone have any questions?
I guess the only thing is, if it's all politically motivated, the mayor and Councilman Bradford aren't political allies. What explains the dismissals there? They're not actually, he's endorsed as an opponent, etc.
He's a Democrat. She's not going to hurt people. What she's hoping is if there's a runoff, she's hoping she'll get the support of the black community. He's a Democrat. She's not. This is completely politically motivated. Any other questions?
I got a question. Paul, can you talk about the actions in court while all the other tickets have been dismissed? So, legal points that you can make or share with it?
The whole issue with the legal position with these tickets is the following. David Feldman issued a letter to all candidates, actually, informing them that before they are going to receive any ticket from the city of Houston, they would get notice, 24-hour notice, and then they would be given 24 hours to go and remove that sign. I have here in my possession that I'm handing over to you a certified copy of the transcript of the inspector, Reggie Harris. Reggie Harris said he did not give notice to Clyde Bryan. It's in Clyde Bryan's case. He did not give notice to Clyde Bryan for the election day violations. So he is in direct violation of the order issued by David Feldman and by the words and by the executive order or the comments that Mayor Parker said in a press conference prior to the beginning of the election. The city of Houston knows this, and they continue to prosecute these cases. So that is the real nuts and bolts of what the legal argument is. It's called a mistake of law defense, but because Clyde Bryan and Eric Dick did rely on the letter that David Feldman, the city attorney, issued to them.
Under what authority did Mayor Parker issue this City of Houston permit requirement if you want to have a political sign?
Well, the sign code was passed years ago, and it's up for debate as to whether or not the sign code even applies to political signs. So that's something that she is the chief executive, and she has the power to tell her people to enforce the law the way she sees fit, even if she pushes the envelope. But what she doesn't have the power to do is to treat people differently.
Right, she's targeting not just blacks or any racial group, but just Democrats. She's targeting Republicans versus the Democrats. That's the issue here. Is that correct?
I believe in this election, she targeted the Republicans because it was going to be a close election, and I believe she wanted to suppress the vote.
Correct.
That's what I believe.
All right, thank you for clarifying that.
Okay. More questions?
First the IRS, now it's the city of Houston.
That's right. First the IRS, now the city of Houston.
Yeah,
It's her connection.
exactly.
Right. Thank you.
We want to thank all of y'all for coming out today. Really appreciate your support. And Eric, you want to say a few words?
Oh yeah, we're having a reception after this at Kubosh's office. There'll be sandwiches, something to drink. If anyone, you're all invited to come.
I don't think they've heard
We're having a reception afterwards with sandwiches and drinks. If anyone wants to come, they're not the good drinks. It's only soda and water.
That's over Paul Kubash's law office over on Lubbock.
Come into the two-story building.
A little bit.
Y'all want to come to the two-story building?
I love it.
1701 Lubbock.